it's Sunday again. It's time for the All Effing Wrestling Show. JFB, what do we have on the show today?
I'm glad you asked. We got news, we got jokes, and we got the main event. It's the roundest of the round tables all here on the
All Effing Wrestling Show.
Hell yeah! Interns, hit the music.
Coming to you live from the effing worldwide media studios located in parts unknown.
It's the All Effing Wrestling Show.
With your hosts, Canada Dry and the JFB.
Tell me how it's priced. Tell me if the item is for sale. And tell me.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. I am, of course, one of your co-hosts of the All Effing Wrestling Show. I am the Billy Goat, if you will. Nah, I'm the JFB, James from Boston.
And I'm one bad mama jamma. I am the patron saint of professional wrestling. I'm that gingered up, bubbly son of a gun. Gonna have big fun. I'm Canada Dry, damn it.
Yeah, Canada Dry. This is season 3, episode 11. And for this, we brought in some guests. Now, our first guest has not been on this show before. He is the Reckoning. He is the Kush. Say hi to everybody, Kush.
What's going on, everybody, man? Nice to be here for the first time ever.
It's awesome.
I'm excited. Me and Kush have been having some good chats back and forth, and we said, let's get you on the show.
Heck yeah. Let's percolate this mofo, if you will. And, of course, we are joined by our resident physician. He is, of course, Dr. AFW. He is, of course, Dr. Brad Campbell. Say hi.
It's Dr. Brad Campbell, Farm D.
Yeah.
Like James Bond, except I got a license to fill.
Somebody better call my space cowboy. Somebody better call him the Doctor of Love.
I'm like that Kiss song. They call me Dr. Love. Here to rock your fucking faces off. Boys and girls.
Keep the effing words down.
Yeah, the effing. It's effing great.
It's effing great.
So
we should make a Tony the Tiger thing. They're effing great.
That's a new shirt.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So it is Sunday. It is our flagship show. It is always brought to you by one of the greatest websites ever. It's brought to you by backshaves.com. That's right, backshaves.com. Go to backshaves.com, sign up for they have multiple tier levels you can get, but someone will come out and will shave your back for you. How awesome is that? Canada Dry.
I can't reach back there.
Yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy. Even if you get one of the long razors, you can't see.
Look at Kush's shirt.
I would notice that.
That's our motto. Yeah, that's our motto.
The KO shirt, though, too. He also felt the exact same thing. That to wear today.
All right, so before we get started with the main event, we got to do a little house cleaning, if you will, sweeping away the cobwebs from last week. We have to go ahead and start with the effing news. From the four corners of the globe, from our studios to your home, this is FNN, the effin' News Network, starring Canada Dry and the JFB. Oh, good morning. We have the witch's brew, if you will. We
have a problem, JFB.
What's the problem?
I don't have my coffee. That means we don't have any knowledge pouring into my brain. So we won't have it today.
Holy crap. Interns are slipping.
Yeah, I needed that coffee for that boost of knowledge, but I guess not today.
You're not going to get any school credit for this messing up job. So, so let's go to the news. So apparently WWE is interested in Brian Cage once his contract is up. Now they're saying it's a matter of weeks before his contract is up. He is, of course, 1/3 of the Ring of Honor Trios champion. So, question to the panel. We'll go Canada Dry first. Is he a better fit in WWE? Should he sign with AEW and stay there?
I would say back in the Vince days when he was in his heyday, that Cage would fit right in. But I don't know with this Triple H booking if he fits in as much as he would have back in the Vince days.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's hard to say.
Yeah, Kush, what do you think?
You know, I mean, I was hearing about him like almost a while ago.
Yeah.
And I kind of thought, that he was probably going to join like last year, but I wouldn't be surprised if he actually does jump on board because he seemed like more of a fit for them now. You know, they always like big body guys and stuff anyway, and he matched the same curriculum like Bobby Lashley or Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
So why not?
Absolutely. Dr. Brad, your thoughts?
I always kind of had a feeling that he might potentially maybe go to Ring of Honor, because I've always thought Brian Cage he had some talent, but he doesn't really have a great character where he goes on screen, he cuts these great promos, and he gets people invested in him. So he could go to WWE, but I think the key is if he does go there, they've got to repackage him and they've got to do something to get the fans invested in him.
Yeah, absolutely. Because he's a boring wrestler. I mean, he really is. I mean, it's the same movesets, the same. It hasn't changed a lot from his indie days.
Well, let me ask you this, JP. What's the difference between him and Wardlow?
Really, right now there isn't. I mean,
right? So it's just about which big guy you like better, really.
Sticking with Wardlow. I mean, he's got better storylines. He's a little bit more charismatic than Brian Cage is. A
little more athletic though, too. I would say.
Yep.
So
I don't know. Brian Cage can do those top rope things and do those 619s.
He can.
Yeah.
I just feel like, he probably could have a manager too, just like he has now with the embassy. Just somebody who's a mouthpiece for him, just like, all the other big guys like Umaga and them, just a mouthpiece.
Nana is amazing.
Yeah.
We're in the money. We're in the money. I love it.
So for those who watch SmackDown, you got to see exactly who is the first confirmed inductee into the WWE Hall of Fame. That, of course, is a man with a storied career spanning well over 25 years, at least 20 years in WCW/WWE. Rey Mysterio, the little big man, is going to the Hall of Fame, and word has it is that Conan will be the one that inducts him into it. So, my question,
you into the Hall of Fame.
So
Not that
Conan. No.
Okay.
So my question to you guys is this: not that if he deserves it, but do you think they're going to stick with the storyline and Dominic is going to interfere in the Hall of Fame speech? Canada Dry, you go first.
Well, it would be money. It would be money. And you want to get this kid over. So I think, you know what? That would be hard for Dom, though, I think.
Yeah.
I think that would be hard.
Yeah.
So that's a tough one.
Yeah.
Good for the storyline, but, to disrespect your father in his Hall of Fame induction, it's like, no, I don't want to do this to my dad.
I'd throw my old man under a bus if I had a chance to progress a storyline even further. I'd push him right under the freaking train. Kush, what are your thoughts?
I feel like, what they've been doing all this time, man, from the holidays and stuff on down, is just do something like that to where it doesn't really interfere with the Hall of Fame ceremony at all. Just maybe
Yeah.
something afterwards,
Yeah.
probably something backstage
Yeah,
to
it
where
could
they
be
have
before
another,
as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, him and Rhea and Damien and all them can be in a pack together while they're visiting, him and Triple H, whoever he's taking pictures of with, that kind of setting. If they can do something like that, then that would keep me invested, man, in the storyline.
Heck yeah. Dr. Brad, your thoughts?
I actually agree with Kush. I think that when I think about the WWE Hall of Fame, I think it's a special night to recognize the accomplishments of the talent who've given us the memories that we've cherished over the years, and it should be a night worth celebrating. So I think that you want to have a special moment for Rey Mysterio to be able to reflect on his career. Let him have his speech. Let it be a nice moment, but you could definitely still tell a story. You could do it. You can do it before the show. You can do it after the show. You can have a backstage segment. There's a way to work it in, but still respect the dignity that the Hall of Fame is supposed to be.
Okay.
Exactly.
Cool. All right. Speaking of Hall of Fame, there is an unconfirmed rumor. We'll find out sooner than later, but the expectation is the Great Muta, who just finally retired after many decades of wrestling. The Great Muta is now supposedly going to be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. Long time coming. Should have been inducted a lot sooner. I'm all for it. Canada Dry, your thoughts really quick.
He deserves it. So I hope this is true. So many great wrestlers, though, out there that are unrecognized. One of them being Adrian Adonis.
Yeah.
Another being Demolition.
Yeah.
Get these greats in the Hall of Fame where they deserve.
Yep, absolutely. Kush, your thoughts?
I mean, you got to have a nice, legend and stuff, man, that hardcore fans really know and love. And, who else better than him right now? So I feel like it's really good for what WWE is doing, namely Triple H, for having people like Shinsuke Nakamura come over there to pay tribute to him on his last tour, man, inside the ring for his retirement. So I think it's a good give and take for him to have a rightful place, man, in this year's Hall of Fame ceremony.
Heck yeah. Dr. Brad.
Well, I think if this year, if we can maybe finally get Soundgarden in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, then let's go ahead and get Great Muta in the WWE Hall of Fame. So I mean, I think back to when Macho Man Randy Savage finally got inducted and how big of a deal it was, and it seems, over the years that WWE, despite whatever history there's been with any kind of wrestler, they always go back to look to appreciate what wrestlers have given to the business. And with it being his final tour, it's the perfect time to do it. It really just kind of, it's the cherry on top of the icing, so to say.
Yeah.
Dr. Brad, let me ask you this. What is the biggest crock of shit? The WWE Hall of Fame or the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
That's a great question. I would have to probably go with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, simply for the fact that there are artists who are not rock and roll that are in the Hall of Fame, and there are many artists who should have been inducted that are still not in there.
It's definitely a politics game, right?
It is. It 100% is. The WWE Hall of Fame definitely has its politics, but I will have to say that I think that they have made some improvements over the years.
Yeah.
And it definitely is. They've made it a part of the WrestleMania season to where it's a special night, just not for the talent, but the fans as well.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I love the fact that the fans are there to root and support these wrestlers, hate them or love them. They always get a standing ovation from the fans. So speaking of more Hall of Fame news, Mick Foley claims that someone reached out to him about inducting them into the Hall of Fame. So we'll see who that might be. Foley didn't say a name. He just said that once they reveal the entire lineup, he'll come out and say who it was that he's inducting into the Hall.
Yeah, that's interesting, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's really cool. Danielson is expected to take some time off after the Revolution pay-per-view. For those who did not see it, he talked about going home. The expectation is he's going to take some time off, recoup, and try to get back before Double or Nothing. Saray is leaving WWE. Saray is going back to Japan after she refused to sign an extension to her contract. Ric Flair on MJF. So Ric Flair said that him throwing the water on the fan was kind of low-hanging fruit. He says, listen, if you got to stop the cheap heat. If you want to get over with the fans, you got to cut yourself so deep that when you swing your hair, you get the fans bloody. That is the exact.
Come on.
That's what Ric Flair said on his podcast.
The blood is your answer? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's his answer. Let's go to WWE is actually wanting to have a stadium show, not in Saudi Arabia. The Super Show is going to be located in Australia. That's right, a country that's not committing murders and crimes.
Thank God.
First time in years.
First time in years. Alexa Bliss will be off TV. She's taking another hiatus. No,
that's not true. Actually.
Oh, okay. Well, then I
someone posted that and she said, "Why do people keep saying this shit?"
Yeah, Sean Ross Sapp is the one who came out with it.
Yeah. So yeah, that false rumors again.
Okay, so here's the big one I want to talk to you guys about really quick, and that is this: WWE wants betting on match results in some states, which would require even the wrestlers and the segment producers to not know the outcome of this. So it will be, there's no leaks and nobody can get financially above anybody else because they know what the results are. So my question, Canada Dry, to you is this a good idea or is this just going to blow up in their face?
Well, they're kind of already doing it though, right?
They kind of do it with DraftKings where you can predict.
Like you can get that in Vegas, right?
No, not in Vegas. Nope.
Okay. But this is a rough one to me. I think it's going to affect match chemistry as well.
Yeah.
That's what I think. I think wrestling really needs that, to not find out who's going to win like literally hours before the match.
Yeah.
You need that time to work on that chemistry and like work out that ending. You got a couple hours to come up with that.
Yeah. That's kind of fugazi. That's gonna be hard. Kush, what are your thoughts?
I just feel like just to let that happen in some other sports and stuff. I feel like it just seemed kind of pointless, given that it's a scripted sport, and we all love it and stuff, man. And like any other sport, just don't let it just tamper, man, with the performers and results of the matches. I mean, I like predicting things and stuff like that, but I don't like putting money and stuff or anything in particular.
Yeah. Dr. Brad, your thoughts?
Here's my thing with it. So, if you're looking at the thought process of, well, this could prevent, matches from getting leaked. And I think that we do see, we have seen instances in recent years where wrestling companies have been able to be successful at keeping things quiet. However, there's still that chance that things are going to get out. And my concern is what would happen there is it will blow up in their face in the sense that you're going to have last decision booking taking place. And it already has happened. Vince McMahon was known to reverse decisions on a whim, just to be Vince. So I don't really see what the benefit is. I think that what needs to happen is I think that within these actual companies, I think they just need to find other ways to ensure that they keep, their disclosures tight. Even working for, a big chain retailer and pharmacy, they have ways to do it. Why can't a wrestling company do it? Yeah,
absolutely. Oh, wow. We got Ted the Hillbilly Heel. Hey,
yeehaw!
I love Ted the Hillbilly Heel, man. That guy just rocks. So when we always want to end the news on a good note, and that's this: Jerry the King Lawler is back home after suffering from a major stroke. He's back home. He's resting comfortably. Prayers and thoughts and positive healing energy goes to Jerry the King Lawler.
You know who else? Our very own Mega Moo. She's out of the hospital now.
Oh, good.
Back home. So
good.
Good for you, Mega Moo.
Good news. All
Yeah.
this stuff.
Good news all around. Good news all around. All right, let's get to our famous joke of the week, brought to you by backshaves.com. Go to www.backshaves.com and sign up right now.
Backshaves.com.
Backshaves.com.
Backstage.com.
Here's our joke of the week. All right, backshaves.com joke of the week.
Hello, everyone. It's the Enlightened One, your favorite cartoon friend. And I'm here with the joke of the week. All right. So, I have a question for you. How does the Rock pee? Give up? He Dwayne's his Johnson.
Oh, dear God, the Enlightened One.
Dwayne's his Johnson.
Wow. The Enlightened One gracing us with his presence all the time. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the joke of the week. If you have a joke of the week, please send it to either me, to Canada Dry, send it by smoke signal, carrier pigeon, whatever. Just send us the joke of the week. We'll put it on there so everybody can revel in your hilariousness. All right, now that we're done with that, we got to go into the main event of the evening.
Gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening.
All right, that is the main event. And of course, we do it once a month. It's called the Roundtable. And I collected, it's not square, it's not triangle. It is our table of roundness. So round, it's perfectly round. So we decided that we're going to do a couple things really quickly. And one of them is this. The first question I'm going to go out, we decided to rank the faces, and not faces, a good guy.
Stars, the real stars.
The stars of WWE. And we gave them a ranking system. And here's our ranking system. Whoop, wrong one.
Oh, Adrian!
It's Adrian Adonis. He should get This is the faces of WWE. Of course, number one being the world's champion. We're talking about Roman Reigns, followed closely by Cody at number 2, Sami Zayn at 3, Austin Theory at 4, and Seth Rollins at 5. And so my question is this. Is anybody ranked a little too high or a little too low than currently where they are at right now? Canada Dry.
Well, since Joseph Graham and I helped make this list, I got to argue with
it. Okay, but what are your thoughts on the list?
I like, for example, Austin Theory, a couple of months ago, he wouldn't have even been on the list. So he's really climbed the ranks.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's ahead of Seth Rollins makes sense to me.
Yeah, absolutely. Kush, what are your thoughts on the list?
I feel like, with Theory, that's a major feat, man, for him being in the top 5, let alone, because half a year ago, he wouldn't be in my top 10. He's like be barely in the top 15. But for him being up there, man, with greats like Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, Sami Zayn, and Cody Rhodes, who've been doing this for over a decade or so, really speaks miles as how far advanced he is in the game and how he has potential of being the face of the company in probably the near future.
Yeah. Is there anybody you think should have been on the list that didn't make the list for WWE?
I feel really that with Jey Uso, I mean, he may be like an underling and stuff in the bloodline, but when it comes to that bloodline storyline, he's the one that's really been the backbone of the whole thing since the beginning.
Yeah, but who would you take out to put him in?
Probably Theory, because he's been more consistent as far as his gimmick, as far as him stay, man, true to the story and keeping you invested and stuff, especially the past few months.
Yeah.
So why not main event Jey Uso?
Okay. Dr. Brad, what are your thoughts on our top 5 power list for the people of the stars of WWE?
I really can't argue with the list you guys put together. I think that you guys did a really good job. So let me just say that first. As far as the
Do you
ranking
need
goes,
to see it again just to make your comment? You need to
Huh?
see the list again.
yeah, let me throw it up again real quick. So yeah, I think honestly it's a well put together list. I will say though, I think you could move Cody to number 1 if he wins the belt at WrestleMania, which a lot of fans are thinking.
Yeah.
You could potentially. I know Theory is really hot right now, and he's doing really well. I could see an argument to flip flop him with Seth Rollins, just because Seth, I think, still has a lot of star power, particularly with a lot of the fans.
Yeah.
But overall, great list. If I were to think about who could have made it, that's not on there, the first person that comes to my mind is Gunther. He's been an incredible Intercontinental Champion. I'm also going to throw Sheamus in that mix just because he is just undoubtedly one of the greatest workhorses they have in the company right now.
Yeah.
I think
And
eventually Roman Reigns is going to be off the list altogether.
yeah,
Because he's going to slowly move down, and someone else is going to have to take that spot.
Yeah. And then, I guess the only thing I'm kind of wondering, I mean, it looks like it's primarily a male list, but I'm just kind of curious. Do you guys have a female list that we're going to be looking at?
We wanted to make it so the women had to earn their spot on the top 5, just like everyone else.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Cool. I mean, I love the list, and I think Theory should be at number 3 and Sammy should be number 4, because I think Sammy's kind of at that turn where he's getting ready to kind of say, it's time for me to start putting over some of the new guys. It's time for me to start taking these new guys under my wing and teaching them about the ropes, how to work in professional wrestling. And I think that as WWE signs these college kids and these college athletes, and guys like Austin Theory, who are going to be the new bodies, the new bread and butter for that. So I think Sammy being at 4 and Theory being at 3 would have been a little bit better.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what the list looks like next month when we do this again.
Oh yeah, we'll be doing it probably right after WrestleMania, and so it'll be interesting to see once that 2 days is up where everybody sits. Because you're right, if Roman loses, Roman shouldn't be number 1. It should be Cody. And I think the champ should always be first. So that leads into my second question for the roundtable, and that is this. If and when WWE does sell, what are your expectations for creative direction? And do you think they will keep the same regime? Let's go with Kush first.
I feel like, with the most consistent storyline they have, of course, it's none other than the Bloodline storyline. And I feel that WrestleMania is going to be the culmination of the beginning of the end of that run, as far as, Roman Reigns being the top guy, man, being the tribal chief. If he does lose to Cody Rhodes, he might, he's already part-time right now. He may just walk off to the sunset a little bit, just for a little while. And then somebody else like Cody Rhodes could probably take the mantle and, drive it home, being the new WWE Universal Champion. Yeah. And really, I feel like the one faction that probably will take over after that has got to be the Judgment Day.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
They've been really good with the Rey Mysterio feud, with the Edge feud, Beth Phoenix. They got so many layers to them. Rhea Ripley and Dominic, man, are really just crushing it right now creatively. And Rhea Ripley, she should be the one, man, to dethrone Charlotte, given that they had their past and stuff back at WrestleMania 37 or 36, where it was nobody out there. And I'm glad that Charlotte won that, because it would be very big for Rhea the second time around to finally win that, to defeat her, her Mount Everest, that's Charlotte Flair. Yeah,
absolutely. So do you think that the current regime, Triple H obviously being in charge of creative, Shawn Michaels being in charge of creative at NXT, you think if they get sold, that current regime is gonna stay?
I feel like it should. I mean, I feel like it can, because, even Vince and them know that Triple H, how passionate they are about the business, and Shawn Michaels, we ain't gotta say much about him back in the Next Generation era. For him and Bret Hart, they probably would have been sold a long time ago. You know, they literally was holding the whole company by the palm of their hands, whether they like to or not. So I feel like he owed it to them to still have some say so, especially creative, especially the way they've been going about it on both NXT and the main roster.
Okay. Dr. Brad, same questions go to you. What do you expect for creative's direction, and will they keep this current regime?
Well, I think the most important thing that they need to do, and this was something that I don't remember if this was an article I read, but I remember reading somewhere that WWE, their focus is about telling stories. And I think that prior to this new regime, one of the biggest complaints that fans had was that, the storytelling was just really stale in the company. That's what was causing so many people to tune out. So what my expectation would be is that there is a commitment to long-term storytelling, not just on the main roster, but I think even with NXT, we need to see more long-term storytelling with that talent, and also more of a game plan for what they have for those talent as they're brought up to the main roster, as I feel like there's been a lot of missed opportunities with NXT in the past. So I think that's something that needs to be addressed. I'd also like to see the WWE Network come back.
Yeah.
I think that the WWE Network was a great thing for fans. I think that being on Peacock, there's too much censorship. So we need to have that back in our hands. And as far as the regime, I don't think that now would be a good idea. Regardless of who they sell to, I think a change in the regime would be bad for business, as they're starting to earn fans' trust again. With Hunter and HBK running the show, so to say. You make another change, then you're going to lose the trust of not just the fans, but you're going to lose the trust of the talent that's there. And all you're going to do is you're just opening up the window for these other companies to come and cash in and take that talent for them to grow. WWE, if they want to stay on top, they have to be smart in their negotiations of who they sell to.
Yeah.
Show the last comment by Haney.
The last comment by Haney. Whoop, hold on.
No, give the dog a treat for F's sakes.
Oh, I don't see that on here.
Oh, hold on. There we go.
There we go. Yeah, I don't see it.
Oh well. He said, "Give the damn dog a treat."
Give that a treat for F's sakes. Canada Dry, question goes to you. What are the expectations for creative direction if they were to sell, and will they keep the current regime?
I think to me, Triple H isn't the savior of creative. To me, he's a bread and butter booker.
Yeah.
Say that 3 times. Bread and butter booker. Bread and butter booker.
Bread and butter booker.
He doesn't know how to make stars.
Yeah.
He doesn't, like, I don't know how he did so well in NXT for the original, and then it's just so boring for the main roster.
Yeah.
Maybe it was Dusty, maybe it was William Regal, I don't know, but maybe a Paul Heyman led creative would be pretty damn cool.
Yeah.
Nobody would get paid.
Yeah. What are you gonna say, Kush?
I feel like Paul Heyman, man, will be the right guy for it, because he did help bring SmackDown up to the new heights right along with Raw back in the Ruthless Wrestling era.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
somebody like him and somebody else that knows what they're doing creatively and stuff, man, can be the ears of Triple H and help him string along on making these characters and stuff. Because even though that things are better, more watchable, especially on Raw and SmackDown, I feel like some of the guys they brought back, they're not really getting as much creatively as they should, and they're not really being valued that much for it. So that could be something they can definitely change in the near future.
Yeah. I mean, I see it this way. I see that if there's a potential sale, there's no reason to shake up the regime. I think keeping Triple H, But I think what's going to happen is I think whoever does buy them is going to go with someone on the outside, someone not in WWE that can offer them assistance and saying, this is how you need to book. This is how we need to move stuff forward. Bringing back to what Canada Dry said, everybody can go ahead and say, well, Triple H created NXT and he made it what it was. Dusty Rhodes worked behind the scenes.
Yep.
And it wasn't Triple H. I guarantee
Yep.
the reason why NXT was the success it was not Triple H. It was Dusty Rhodes. I think
William Regal played a good role in that too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So, and I think that's what Triple H needs in the main roster. And I think if they do sell, I think William Regal needs to be that buffer between creative and ownership, and can whisper in Tripp's ear and say, hey, this is what's going to go. This is what's going to happen. So,
and just
go ahead.
I want to add a little something else. Just like Vince McMahon, had a bunch of yes men, to whisper in his ear about things, creatively and all that. I mean, Triple H, I know he done that in NXT, like you said, with William Regal and, Dusty Rhodes. That's why he had Dusty Rhodes kids. Like, if it wasn't for Dusty Rhodes, we wouldn't have, a generation of superstars right now, as in Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, Charlotte Flair, Bailey, none of them, So that's exactly what they need to do, especially with these new stars like Dominic, Mysterio, Austin Theory, all Solo and all them. Just keep it going from like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's go to our third question, and that's going to be the faces of AEW. That's right, the stars of AEW. We gave them a ranking as well. Here we go. Your current AEW World Heavyweight Champion, MJF at number 1, Bryan Danielson at number 2, followed by Kenny Omega at number 3, Chris Jericho at 4, and Jon Moxley is at 5. Let's go with Dr. Brad Campbell first. Dr. Brad, your thoughts on the list and who shouldn't be on there, who should be on there?
Can you throw that list up again for me, please?
Yeah. Hang on one second.
All right.
Let me put it up. Here we go. Faces of AEW.
All right. Well, MJF at number 1 is undoubtedly true. As far as I'm concerned, he is the best heel in all of pro wrestling right now. So that I 100% agree with. I would honestly, at this point, if Danielson's taking time off, I would take him off the list right now. As far as who would be next, honestly, maybe a little bit of a hot take, but I'm going to put absolute Ricky Starks up there, just because of how hot he is with the crowd as a young and upcoming babyface. He has been on a roll for months now, and I think he's going to be a future world champion. Omega, I would go ahead. I would agree with him just because he's Omega and he's having a strong presence right now, particularly with the trios tag titles. And then I would go ahead and say Jericho, yes, because he's been putting a lot of guys over recently. Now he's getting in the mix, but Moxley, I'm on the fence with him just because, as far as I'm concerned, he is, in some ways, he's the face of the company, but I think he's going to be looking to take some time off soon. And honestly, at this moment, I would replace him with Hangman Adam Page, because that victory at Revolution, I think helped reignite Hangman's career. I think it's something that was needed. And honestly, the crowd's really getting reinvested in him. So, those are the two changes I'm going to make right now.
Okay, so who did you take off?
I took off Danielson and Moxley.
Okay.
Wow. Hot takes.
I know.
That's sizzling.
Ow,
Hot.
burning my hand, it's so hot.
Canada Dry, let's go to you, my friend, my hombre, my amigo.
All right, put up this list one more time.
Here we go. Faces of AEW.
All right, so MJF definitely number 1. This is the thing. It's like this list is going to change because Bryan Danielson taking some time off, so his star power is going to lower. Chris Jericho is always kind of the anchor of the AEW top 5-star list. But I'm thinking like Mox is going to be removed from that as well. I think maybe Orange Cassidy maybe next time is going to be on it. Maybe.
Yeah.
Good pick.
He's huge. He's such a big star.
Yeah.
Chris Jericho said he didn't like him at first, but now he's like, because I didn't get it. But then once I got it, I'm like, this guy's amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Bryan Danielson will be moved off that for a bit, and I think Mox will be. But for right now, that's the list.
Yeah, Alex Haney says, look at the ratings breakdown. Jericho is actually a turn off for last 4 to 5 months. Okay. Kush, what are your thoughts, brother?
Well, you know what? Number one definitely deserve to be number one because MJF, just like Dr. Bradman said, he is the biggest heel, not just in that company, but all pro wrestling.
Yeah.
And it's not even close. I mean, probably Roman Reigns next thing, but as far as keeping the gimmick and stuff and keeping K5, oh yeah, he knocked it out of the park every single time.
Yeah,
for sure. And I get a laugh of it too, especially when he spilled that water on that kid and stuff at Revolution. I'm like, how dare this guy? He's an asshole for that, but you gotta love it because he's still trying to keep that heat and stuff on him. Scorching hot heat.
Yeah.
As far as the rest of the list, I probably would change around a few people, man. Probably bump. I mean, Bryan Danielson is doing well for putting over talent and stuff like Daniel Garcia and now MJF. I probably put him down a little bit to 3, and probably put maybe Mox up to number 2 because really Moxley, he was doing the exact same thing. Even though if he was getting wins most of the time, he was still keeping Dynamite interesting, especially the whole fiasco with Punk and the Elite. Being the champion. So once again, when he's supposed to go on hiatus, with his wife and all that, being a new father and all that. And for me, he definitely got my respect and stuff for holding it down and keeping the things upright instead of tumbling down.
Yeah.
Now, as far as King Omega's concerned, of course we already know, man, he's a great white meat, face and stuff, man, of the company. He can do everything. He can do it all. But he should be probably top 5 in my opinion because he's, as much as he's been put over the Trios Team Championship along with the Young Bucks, and Death Triangle and all that with that Best of 7 series, I feel like he kind of went down a little bit when he was off, with his injuries and all that for the past year.
Yeah.
And if I can change anything about that, I'll probably move Ricky Starks up there to probably number 4 because he's finally getting the push that he rightfully deserved because you hear the crowd, they liked him, the way he talks, the way he goes about things. You know that he's a star when he goes through those the curtains.
Yeah.
I mean, he won me over, man, even before he got into AEW. He's definitely won me over now with promos with MJF because he had me laughing and had me really reeled in what he has to say because it feels important. And just the whole dynamic with him and Jericho and JAS with him having some wins and stuff definitely, keeps me feel like he's going to be a future champion, whether it's world champion, TNT champion, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. I love the list. I would put Jericho at 6. I would put Ricky Starks at 4 or even Ricky Starks at 5 just because he beat Jericho.
I don't think he's there yet.
I think he's
on a cusp.
I think he's at the cusp. I think the problem we're going to run into with Ricky Starks is we're going to see if he can get to the next level. Either he's going to jump that ladder and he's going to rise up again, or he's just going to fall flat on his face.
Sometimes the people that Jericho puts over,
yeah,
they drop the ball after he puts them over.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. If he can capitalize on this Juice Robinson feud that they look like they're starting, then we'll see.
I really don't know about Juice Robinson either. I don't think that's a good matchup for him.
Soft serve, Juice Robinson. So let's go to our.
Like it's going to be some kind of,
Go ahead and finish your thought.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's it's a filler for him. It's probably going to be one and done, and then he'll probably go on to meet somebody else.
Yeah.
Hopefully somebody's more fitting to help elevate him. On his rise.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's go to our 4th question, and that's this. With some inconsistencies show to show, would Tony Khan stand to have a more consistent product if he brought in additional bookers. And I'm not saying someone to take over the book, but I'm talking about somebody that can kind of alleviate them. I think the problem is you have AEW Dynamite, you have Rampage, and then you have another show that's going to be coming on Saturdays. And so that's 3 shows, and that's at least 4 to 5 hours of wrestling, not including Ring of Honor and all that other jazz. Do you think we can get better short-term and long-term storyline telling if he brings in someone else that could possibly help him? Canada Dry, you go first.
Let me just start out by saying I think that having another hour show is a mistake.
Okay.
What they should have done is move Rampage to Saturday and make it 2 hours.
Yeah.
Make it special.
Yeah.
Instead of having 2 1-hour shows, you have 1 2-hour show. And that's the thing. It's maybe because it's on the TNT network still.
Yeah.
That you can't get that, but move the show to TBS then.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, I agree.
But I didn't answer your question. I do think that he does need help booking. He would benefit from book because he's a busy man. He's got the football team and he's got the soccer team. He needs to just let someone else do that, focus on this, and then bring in help because, like I couldn't do it. You couldn't do it.
I don't. Not only could I not, I don't want to.
Well, I want to. I just like they wouldn't give it to me.
It's not like Tony Khan's knocking on my door, but if he did, JFB's like, I got too much on my plate, yo.
Well, yeah, you just give him my number. I'll do it.
Yeah, I'll call. Yeah, he knows he's got our phone numbers. He knows how to get in contact with us. He watches the show constantly. So, Kush, what are your thoughts about bringing on an additional booker?
Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't done it a lot sooner, really, because like you said, he's a busy guy, he's a busy man. That's what Vince. Not trying to compare him to Vince that much, but for one busy billionaire man to another one, you would think that if you want somebody, you got so many creative mind stuff anyway. You want to book a few people, man, to help you out the booking anyway. I mean, it just only makes your job a lot less stressful and definitely help, man, make the product, man, even more better and stuff, man, in the long term. Because you have so many people, man, that's already, in that company, whether it's Ring of Honor and AEW, that you're only one person. You ain't gonna just go Dragon Ball Z and go multi-form and stuff, man, and be like 4 or 5 of you, because unless you can, there's no way. there's no way that's gonna happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Dr. Brad, your thoughts?
Well, Tony Khan and his booking, that's been a topic I've discussed with a few friends of mine in this pro wrestling community. I think Tony Khan, I think he's a visionary, and I think personally, I think he does well with long-term booking. I mean, when you look at last week's pay-per-view Revolution, my God, was the storytelling off the charts. I loved Revolution, what they did there, but I think what the struggle right now is getting the fans invested for the week-to-week stuff, and the short-term, storytelling. I think that's kind of where things are falling through the cracks. So I think a booker would be really beneficial. I think what the problem is who would be the one to do it? Would he bring like someone from the outside? I mean, that would make the most sense to me. Someone who's seen the product, has maybe a more objective point of view that can come in and kind of help, take it to the next level.
Yeah. I mean, I can tell you this. I run a 10-person fantasy hockey league, and between the 10 of them, it's insane. Like, I can't keep track of all this crap. Like, literally, my phone blows up from every morning from like 8 to 12 for waiver wires and all this other crap. I'm like, you guys got to knock it off. You're all
you're trying to make trades, and you're like, I don't know what's going on.
I see like 42 trade requests, and like I should have been higher in the waiver wire, and it's just.
But with a booker, I wouldn't bring in
who
Booker.
Five time. But I think he needs another guy. I think he needs someone that can be.
Well, he might even have him on staff right now. Like, you got a Jeff Jarrett there.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
I was going to suggest Jeff Jarrett would be a perfect. I mean, you can bemoan about the demise and the rise and fall of TNA and Impact and so on and so forth, but that man ran a tight ship. And there was consistency. Maybe it wasn't always good, but it was consistent. And that's a huge thing because he was able to tell compelling storylines and keep it nonstop. So let's go to our fifth question, and that's going to be this. You are the booker of your own promotion. Okay. You could have a match between any two wrestlers from any promotion of any era. Who are you going to pick to main event your big ass show? Kush, I'm going to go to you first since you are the new guy. Any two wrestlers, any two era, who do you go with?
That's a loaded question right there. I mean, I've had fantasies about something like that, but I feel like it's got to be the two guys who really have made wrestling, man, a staple that it is, you know, and they're both from the past, sad to say. And one of them, of course, man, he's the reason why I became a wrestling fan in the first place. You know him. You love him, man. He has a podcast. He's known, man, for the one finger salute, man, the finger gesturing, man, and all that. None other than, man, the rattlesnake himself, Mr. Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay, hell yeah.
And then the guy, of course, I would probably have him against is the same guy, man, who also was responsible, man, for breaking, you know, wrestling. I mean, even making a rock and roll of wrestling.
Yeah.
And you already know, brother, who I'm talking about. And that is Mr. Hulkamaniac himself, Hulk Hogan.
Wow.
Heck yeah. Good one. I like that. I like that a lot. Dr. Brad, any two from any era, any promotion, who are you going to go with?
Well, I'm going to go with the guy that made me fall in love with wrestling as a child. And I'm going to go with the guy that made me get back into wrestling as an adult and made me fall in love with it again. The ultimate dream match for me would be the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be versus the best in the world.
Oh, CM Punk versus
Bret the Hitman Hart versus CM Punk.
both in their prime, right? Both in their
I mean, those promos would just be absolutely fire. It's like, Bret Hart, you think you're the best there is? Maybe you were the best there was, but I, CM Punk, am the best in the world.
Oh, that is
And I can see Bret coming in just being all like, Punk, you think you're the best there is? Maybe you're the best at being a degenerate, you know, just a cheap punk know-it-all. I mean,
let me tell you something right now.
Yeah, I just think, honestly, those Bret in his prime in 1997, CM Punk, those two would have a match for the ages. It would be a technical masterpiece.
Yeah. Okay. Canada Dry. Who you going with, brother?
Oh, wow. Well, I'm also going Bret the Hitman Hart. Bret Hitman Hart marks. No shame in that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to go with Bret the Hitman Hart for my main event versus Bryan Danielson, the American Dragon. These guys, and it's in a 60-man Iron Man match.
Oh, and that's a shot.
Yes, to do it all again. This would be a show.
Yeah. Oh, God, that would be so awesome. I'm going to go with mine. I'm going to say it really quickly. I'm a Bret Hart mark, and I would love to have seen Bret the Hitman Hart versus Jushin Thunder Liger. I think going at it in their prime, you're talking about the psychology of wrestling, and those two guys know it better than anyone else. And Liger taking off his mask, and he's dressed up in his face paint like he used to when he fought Muta. And that would just be such a dream match. That would be such a freaking dream match. So let's go to our sixth and final question, and that is this. Would you rather, and the question is, would you rather have a short career and main event most pay-per-views, or a long career and never get close to the main event? Dr. Brad, you go first.
I'm going to go with a short career in main eventing most pay-per-views, Because I think at the end of the day, being able to be on top, get the big payday, would be just something to be proud of. But even with a short career, I can find something else to do to go be successful at after that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Canada Dry. You going for the long career or the short fix?
Okay, so am I winning mid-card title after mid-card title in that long career?
Yeah, maybe occasionally you'll win a mid-tier.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to go with Brad on this one. Doing the short career, because you know what? I'm a hell of an actor. I could be in these movies.
Yeah,
I could be the next Shazam.
that's
you
true.
know?
Probably make it better than Shazam.
I go see you in the new Shazam movie, Canada Dry.
Yeah.
All right, Kush, it is your turn. Bring it up, brother.
You know what? I mean, y'all guys, man, like to have a short-term thing. Really, I mean, you know, and that's all good and all because people will remember you most of something what you accomplished, man, no matter what span of time. But I wouldn't mind taking a long road of stuff because, you know, I mean, guys, you know, that kind of get recognized but underappreciated or like, you know, who've been doing it for a long time, like kind of like Dolph Ziggler and all them.
Yeah.
Even though they haven't won as much or being highly favored and stuff as the other big guys are, they still get respected, man, for their dedication and how well they keep on bringing each and every time.
Well, yeah, you look at guys like Jake the Snake Roberts, wasn't in the main event lots.
Yeah.
Still a huge legend.
Yeah.
And he should have been WWE champion, though, too. That's one of the biggest guys to never be WWE champion. And I'll hate WWE, man, forever for that, especially watching his biography because he just got it. He was like in his own world ahead of his time. You know, guys like that, for sure, I definitely wouldn't mind. As long as you have like the talent, the charisma, you know, the work ethic and stuff, and you can help people along the way, sure, why not be there for the long haul?
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? I would like to be like Kurt Hennig. I would like to be like Jake the Snake. I would like to be like Roddy Piper, where I have this super long career and maybe not win the big title, but maybe occasionally the.
You're not gonna be on a Roddy Piper level, man. He made an event quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean that man was never a world title holder in WCW or WWE, and look at him. He's considered to be a living freaking legend, and that to me is a little bit more important going for the long term over the short term because sometimes you are guys with short careers like Dynamite Kid. Nobody brings him up on a top Mount Rushmore list, but I mean he was beyond his years in terms of his talent and stuff. So I'm going with the long term. I want a long term career.
That's how you do 50-50 booking.
Yeah, that's 50-50 booking. I'd like to come out on a stroller or like a walker and say,
but the good thing about taking the short career, your body's saved from the, and you can live a longer life.
Drive hard, die young, leave a good looking corpse. I get it. Guys, that's our show. Holy crap, that is our show. We knocked it out of the park. I love roundtables because we really we really dig deep into it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get over some of our little rigmarole here. If you want to go ahead and support the show, go to youtube.com/effing wrestling, click like and subscribe. If you want to connect with us on social media, all our links are on the YouTube page, but it's also on our website, effingwrestling.com. It's getting ready to be refurbished. We're going to have a brand new spanking website within the next few weeks. It's going to be spectacular. It's going to be more interactive. It's going to be sleek. It's going to be tight like a turtle. So go to effingwrestling.com. Now, if you want to support the show, and we know that you do because you watch us, you comment, you love us, you follow us, you need to get a t-shirt. Mother's Day is coming up. Father's Day is coming up. You want to get yourself an effing wrestling t-shirt, an all effing wrestling t-shirt. Where do you go to get these t-shirts, guys? I don't know. Well, it's really easy. You can do what Natalia Markova does. You can go to prowrestlingtees.com/effing wrestling where you can get any of our shirts. Hell, if you join AFW, we might make a shirt for just you on Pro Wrestling Tees. You can brag to
I have one.
Dr. Brad's got one. The JFB's got one. Canada Dry's got one. Everybody's got one. Kush is going to get one soon. I feel it.
Eventually, yeah, sure.
Now, if you like old school wrestling, and I know that you do,
Yeah.
go ahead and check out ProWrestlingTees.com/Adrian Adonis, where you can get the Adrian Adonis t-shirt right here, or this one right here. We have started a movement on Move On, and if you go to our website, we'll post it there as well. But we are trying to get people to sign to get Adrian Adonis into the WWE Wrestling Hall of Fame. So go on, Move On. We'll put the links in the show notes and everything. Let's get him in the Hall of Fame. It's other than that, so go to our website, go to Pro Wrestling Tees. On behalf of Canada Dry, on behalf of the Kush, on behalf of Dr. Brad Campbell, I am the JFB.
Can you show your shirt a little bit there, Kush? And remember to just keep fighting.
Ding, ding, ding. Hit it. This has been an effing worldwide media production. You can find us on all social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, and others. Head over to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/effing wrestling. And while you're there, click like and subscribe. Want some swag? Head to our store at prowrestlingtees.com/effing wrestling. You can find all these links and much more at our awesome website, effingwrestling.com. As the JFB always says, you can book it.